Rock on for that matter, Farhan. Like, you're not an actor, a professional actor at the time. Why would someone pitch a script to you at all for an actor's job?
He was absolutely convinced that I have to sing my own songs. He didn't even know that I played guitar. He didn't know. He had no knowledge.
That's a leap of faith, no?
Yeah. So I mean, it's pretty amazing.
Fame, power, and money. What do these three things anyway mean to you?
I feel any kind of power that's unchecked is toxic.
The Me Too movement, which was essentially a piece on power, wasn't it? What did you think of it, Farhan?
What kind of consequence the person should ultimately get outside being fired from the film is not for me to decide.
Your dad yourself. Is it easy to raise children with that much spotlight?
Intention has always been to keep them away from it.
Yeah.
Not for any reason that I think it's the big bad world and all. I don't have those problems.
Hani Irani and DDLJ became a case study of its time. The fact that she worked on the script of the film and that she was not credited for that film.
People in the West have retired 30 years ago, 40 years ago.
Yeah, they're living off the royalties.
They're living off royalties. We've had people who've had 500 hit songs and have died in like abject poverty. It's a shame.
You've been famously immortalized with Shah Rukh from that scene, right? You get a sense of Shah Rukh Khan saying what he wants to say to the world.
Even if you see Amir is at the beginning, like although he comes and does that scene, but the minute it's cut and if you see what he's doing, when he goes and starts talking to Raju Hirani and says, "Yaar, main ye bhi kar sakta hu, main bhi," you know what I mean? So everything was written keeping their personalities in mind.
What if you're doing something, it's like it's not turning out to the film that you signed up for? And can you fix it? Because you can.
You know if something is not right on set.
Okay.
At the end of the day, your performance could be off.
Yeah.
You know, that could be happening.
Have you felt that about any performance of yours, personally? What is your favorite anecdote about Shah Rukh Khan?
Shah Rukh is incredible at many things. But this one thing on that set that I realized he was not great at.
Hello and welcome to Sit with Hitlist, our completely unscripted conversation series. My name is Mayank Shekhar. With me is multi-hyphenate Farhan Akhtar.
Thank you, man.
You get multi-talented a lot, right?
I mean, you've actually said it in the most concise way, which I'm very thankful for.
As
Usually
people singer, writer, director.
They
So, and
break
the
it
reason
down.
why I called you multi-hyphenate is because talent to बहुत लोगों के पास होती है, but there are very few people in the world who manage to actually express it and make a profession out of it. And that's what makes you different from multi-talented people across. I mean, I think even I can sing, but that's not really true. But I don't think I can make money from singing, which you do. I mean, that's a completely different, like a revenue stream for you, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know, honestly, I don't think of that as a revenue stream. That is actually more like to blow off steam is really what it is. It's very enjoyable. It's a complete stress buster.
Yeah.
And I mean, although it's related to, of course, entertainment in a massive way, it doesn't have the same kind of stresses that filmmaking and working in a film does. You have to be free of all of it.
But think about it, like Farhan, when you're an actor or even for that matter, a director, right?
Yeah.
You are changing things and you can do another take. But when you go out on a stage, it's really that moment, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's the beauty.
Isn't that no? Doesn't did you now have stage fright?
No, I didn't. Okay. Like for a long time, and even now, just before I go on, like the last maybe like 2 or 3 minutes leading up to that entry onto stage. I do get butterflies in the stomach.
You do.
So my focus gets really intense because I realized over time and over having done now many performances.
How many? How many gigs would you have done by now?
I've lost count.
Like about 200, 300?
Yeah, I think 200 plus
Wow.
for sure. But what I realized is that if I can focus really hard on the opening song and make sure that when I hit that first note, like I hit it right, then I feel like the night goes really well for me. If I
Is this
feel
clockwork after that?
Yeah. Then it goes into one zone.
Right.
So I don't mind stressing about that because the fact is, Mayank, like I'm not a trained singer. I have days where like my voice is sounding not the way I want it to sound. You know, so I have to.
But you never lip sync though, do you?
No, never.
Never.
I've never lip synced.
Right.
But I have to work really hard. Like in terms of my prep on the day for a concert. Like I've been on tour with Shankar, for example. I've been on tour with Papon, for example, and these guys, they're so relaxed. You know, the concert's coming up and Shankar is not, I mean, he doesn't even come to sound check. You know, you can wake him up at 3 o'clock in the morning and ask him to sing a note and he'll sing it bang on. You know, so I'm with these guys.
Right.
And like to be on stage with them, it requires, I mean, you have to be of a certain level here. You can't just do time pass when you're up there. So I have to work really hard on those days to make sure that my voice is in a place.
So you'll wake up in the morning, do some riyaz,
figure
out.
No, riyaz, like now I made it a habit that every day to do a certain amount of riyaz for sure. But on that day, in terms of what I eat the night before, how much sleep I need to get, I don't eat that day. Like I'll probably have a really light breakfast and then I won't eat till the gig is done.
Really?
Yeah.
And why? Because that helps with concentration in terms of, or you feel
your
sleepy.
Your focus becomes
if
way stronger.
If you don't eat that much.
You feel more awake because actually when you eat, you feel more sleepy. Right. So I don't eat on that day, so it keeps my focus stronger. It keeps me lighter. Also because of my cough cold problem that I kind of have.
You've always had?
I've always had. Okay. Since that time I was a kid. I have allergies. I have all these things that happen. So my what's called an acid reflux gets triggered a lot more easily once I eat. So I have to be very careful with what I eat on that day. So I made it a habit over time. It was better to not eat. So I just have like a really light breakfast and then I don't eat till post the game.
And there are two kinds of concerts you do, right, Farhan? One is the Farhan Live, if I'm not mistaken, which would be the stuff that's original material that's been made by you.
No, the Farhan Live is the Hindi one.
The Hindi one.
Yeah.
And then there is another one that you do, which is the album that you cut, what is called a private album in Indian context, your private album and your original music. These are two different kind of concerts you do, right?
Yeah. So that the other one is, I mean, although it's...
What is that called?
It's still Farhan Live because I'm on stage. But we call it the Echoes Tour.
Okay.
Because that's the album predominantly that we play.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's I mean, obviously different audiences, but the feeling is the same. Yeah, playing music is the same. Yeah,
and does it get easier over time? I'll tell you why I'm asking this question. I've always wondered why rock stars, for instance, over generations, a lot of them, for lack of a better word, have led very degenerate lives.
Yeah.
You know, they can be completely debauched lives because they could be overdoing drugs, etc. And I thought the reason that could be is because they're singing literally the same songs in every concert. They get so good at it that now they can chill and they can play the same music all over again. Does it get easier over time?
It definitely gets easier because I mean, there's a muscle memory that you develop with each song, and the more you perform it. But the thing is, the enjoyment for the audience, what I've realized over time, obviously are the songs, because I mean, especially when you come to the Hindi set, from Dil Chahta Hai all the way now through to like Tufan and Bhag Milka Bhag, and they know all the songs.
Right.
But more than that, it's they want to enjoy you. And
the fact that they can see you.
Yeah, they want to enjoy you. And what they want is for you not to be rehearsed, not for you to be like just introducing a song and going into, you know what I mean? The more you can just free yourself and have fun on stage and be in that moment, and if whatever the thought is, as corny a joke as it could be, that comes into your mind, or something meaningful in that moment that you want to say because of something you've read or something you've experienced, the more you can be of that person, you know, which is the true you. That to me makes for a really enjoyable experience for the audience.
So it's not the same concert every time. That's what you're saying.
It's
a new experience each time, depending on where you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sometimes you point to the crowd and say this particular couple, and then that couple turns out to be, extra marital affair.
Yeah, that was quite.
That's ever had. Has some embarrassing situation ever happened to you at a concert? Maybe not this, but
not this. But I mean, some very strange things have happened. I mean, we were at a concert in. चलो मैं share का नाम छोड़ दूँगा. But there was one gentleman who came with a full an entourage of people, an important man.
Of that town or in general?
No, of that town. Okay. Of that town. Yeah. An important man of that town came with an entourage of people, including some police guys and all that stuff, like security.
Right.
And then was sitting down there, and as the concert proceeded, I don't know whether he was sipping a drink quietly or not, but he was gaining in confidence as the concert went
courage.
On. You know, so either it was courage or liquid courage, one or the other. And at one point he got up and came in front of stage, took his shirt off, and was just in a ganji and started flexing his muscles and doing all this. And
you can't do much.
Yeah, we're like, what's going on with this guy? And that's because you have the college section that's like having a blast, and then there's that like that VIP section where everybody sits.
Right.
You have to really get them.
Yeah.
You have to really get them to stand up and get into a song because I mean it's a different So from that crowd for this to happen, you're like, wow, what's going on, right? And this was happening. We're like wondering what's going on, and then we saw him like he's writing something on a piece of paper.
On the stage?
Then he down.
Oh,
just down.
acha. Huh.
He wrote something, took a piece of paper, wrote something, and gave it to one of his guys. I said, go up and give it.
Huh.
So we are like all doing our music and all that stuff, and this sweet man came up on stage, and he came and gave it to me, the paper. So I opened it, and it was written, "Zara, hamare taraf bhi to dekhiye." Was written. So I was just like, I put the paper away and all that stuff, and I said, "Arey, what a wonderful! Somebody made a request for a song and all that stuff," and moved on. I kept thinking that why is he sending this "Zara hamare bhi taraf bhi to dekhiye" to me?
Yeah.
And then later I realized that he had actually sent it for Shannon, who's the female singer in the group.
Man.
And it was the decency of that man who came up that he said, I'm not going to give it to her, and he came and gave it to me. So we've been through these kind of weird things. Yeah,
that can be quite scary. Yeah.
Of course it's scary.
I'm assuming it's a small town.
Yeah. I've had a concert where at the end of it all, one of the organizers, friends of some kind, because we were staying in a guest house. This is like, like some far removed place. So we are not even like, there are no hotels. So we stay like, either you stay at the college campus itself, or then there's a guest house of some kind. And these guys landed up, and the friends were hammered, like completely drunk, and were insisting that they take me on a bike ride in the middle of the night.
Like you just came to your room.
Yeah. Nahi, aapko to aana hi padega, don't worry. And all this stuff was going on. So you have to find your way, negotiate how to get out of it. But yeah, there have been some interesting experiences. But I mean, as long as you just kind of approach it without getting angry about it, because there's no point.
Yeah.
You have to humor them in some kind of way and keep moving forward. But things have happened there.
And that would be a great way for you to also see India, right?
Oh, yeah. Hugely.
I mean, there is no other way anyone is going to have that kind of opportunity but to go to, like, say, a Pilani or all these, college campuses across small towns.
No, and to different corners. Yeah, from Arunachal Pradesh, we performed at the Zero Festival.
At the Zero Festival, right.
So from there, like just all over the place. I mean, films do take you to places, but when you're acting, you don't really get to see that much here. You're like, they're very like kind of chaperone trips.
Yeah.
Where you're taken to this restaurant is great for so-and-so thing. The organizer organizes.
And then your photo will be there in the restaurant forever.
But this is a kind of a different feeling when you go with the band. You can get down a lot more, and it's a very different
It's a very different community also, Farhan.
Yeah.
The whole music community is very different
it's
from...
very different.
That's true. There are very few people who would be part of both communities, right? Would that be correct? Like, it's a different world in terms of your bandmates and...
Oh, yeah, completely.
Yeah.
It's a great way to unwind from film. For me, honestly, like hanging out with them, traveling with them, playing music, of course. It's just, it's a whole other thing.
We're, of course, talking about you as an actor now. And because it's only a few days after this conversation that your next film is going to release, that's 120 Bahadur. You, as a director, you remade Dawn.
Yeah.
Is this in any form, because it is about 120 soldiers who fought against 3,000 Chinese soldiers back in the 1962 war. Is it in any way a remake of Hakikat? Because that's what Chetan Anand's film was about also set in Ladakh at the time.
No, actually it's very interesting because Hakikat was very loosely based on the Battle of Rezangla.
Okay.
They didn't call it
that.
Also, none of the characters were called by the original names. But it was definitely based on that battle because it was about a battle, if I remember very clearly, it was about a battle where the Indians were outnumbered and they fought off the Chinese.
Yeah, and they had held on to their post.
And they all were martyred.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. So it's similar to that in terms of the event, I would imagine, but a very different syntax in the way the story is been told. Very, very different.
Yeah, I mean, of course, the battle happens much later in the film. It's about a love story.
Yeah, a lot of stuff goes on
between
in that film.
Priya Rajwanshi
and the shepherd and
Dharmendra and all those things. Of course, there's not that. That's not the angle that you've taken with this.
I'm really, really keen that Dharamji watches this film.
It's one of his greatest works. Yeah,
I love that film. And I think it'll be for him. I guess also will be a nice, like, kind of nostalgic feeling to watch it. So hopefully I'm waiting for...
But also for his time, right? Like to be shooting a film in Ladakh in the 60s, because it looks like real locations. It's not a studio film in that sense. You can see the terrain.
Yeah, they definitely went somewhere and shot it.
Yeah.
I won't know
you would know
whether it was Ladakh or not, but they definitely went somewhere up into the hills and mountains and shot it, and relatively barren looking places. So,
it must have been an interesting... As you did. back
Yeah,
in 2003.
for sure.
And
No, but the fact is that, I mean, at that time, it was very common to do stuff on sets. Like now, I mean, if you do this kind of stuff on set, people will be like, please,
you can tell, yeah.
please, chal bhai.
I guess AI can do
Yeah,
it.
yeah. You know, so I mean, that lived-in experience of shooting at those locations, I mean, is something else. You can't match up to it.
But you spent what, 5 months when you were making Lakshya?
Yeah, 5 months.
And was it as long for a film like this?
No, this was 2 months.
2 months straight?
Yeah, 2 months straight.
Like a one schedule film.
Yeah. So so this is why this film is about 2 hours and 5 minutes, and we were about 3 hours and 10 or 12 minutes. There's a difference. But no, also what's happened now is when we had gone in 2003, the infrastructure wasn't the greatest here. Getting around wasn't easy. Communication wasn't easy. There were no mobile phones. Everything was film, so we had to send things back, wait for it to get processed, and come back and know if we are good to move on from certain things or not.
Right.
Now it's on that level; it's a lot faster. I mean, what you're shooting is what you're seeing. You know what I mean? So there's the digital thing is taking care of it. The infrastructure right now in Ladakh to travel to the furthest points is really, really good. Connectivity with networks is really, really good. So on that level, it was a lot simpler this time.
So, but when you were making Lakshya, you've spoken about it in the past quite extensively, actually, about how difficult the process of making that film was. And now I recently watched on Kaun Banega Crorepati, and it turns out that you were so harried, or you were like so overworked with the whole process, that you actually ended up intimidating Amitabh Bachchan.
No, I didn't intimidate.
Come on, that's what he said.
Can anybody intimidate him? Come on, bro.
I don't know.
Seriously, no. I didn't. I mean, that wasn't my intention at all.
Sure.
My whole thing at that point was I was so stressed out about making sure that what the army has given us, permissions that they've given us, timings that they've given us are very adhered to. Because it would be the easiest thing that if we messed around with that, for them to turn around and be like, listen, dude, y'all are not following the protocol, or y'all are not following...
You're not serious people.
Yeah, you're not serious people. So let's discuss what all y'all will get going forward. So even with the cantonment areas that we would shoot with, because they are restricted areas, please understand this is 2003. This is just on the back of Operation Vijay finishing. Right. It's been like 3 years since then. So we were there. We were given very strict timings that your crew can get in by so and so time. You can shoot by so and so time. By the time you leave, as in you have to be out of that gate. With your crew, there cannot be one kapda, one cutter stand left. So the clock was constantly ticking, so I was constantly on day, and I think it just got compounded as it went on.
Right. So he joined the shoot much later.
Yeah, he joined much later. Yeah. So by the time that scene happened, and he explained what he was experiencing, because I mean, it was sync sound and many new things that started happening, which I think was him still trying to wrap his head around. And I was stressing about time, is where I was at. So when I went and met him, I mean, I was purely coming from the time that, because I can't waste time on set. Right. That's where I was coming from.
Not too many retakes, is that what you're saying? Right.
And I mean, not too many retakes, or like just, like longer discussions before, like that kind of thing. I felt at that point I was feeling very rushed. So which is why I went and spoke to him, and I said, like maybe we can chat in the room and we can discuss whatever we need to. So maybe on set we can move a little bit faster. Maybe
this is after day one.
This is after day one.
Because day one didn't go too well, I'm guessing.
No, day one didn't go as planned for me. Right. As a director and as somebody like...
In terms of timeline.
Yeah, in terms of timeline. Right. And so I just went and had a chat with him. Obviously, in that moment, I didn't realize what it may have come across as, which he explained that day. And I had to hide my face in my hands because I felt so embarrassed that, I mean... Because I mean, for me, he's like my hero here. I mean, I've grown up watching his movies. I mean, one of the reasons that I wanted to be in movies was because of his work. I
remember a director once, of course we cannot name him, he posted once on Twitter that everything that I am in my life, and the fact that I'm in the movies is because of Amitabh Bachchan. And I don't know why, I shouldn't have done that. I just wrote under, please don't blame Bachchan. Obviously, that doesn't apply to you.
Take some responsibility. No, but I mean, he's played a huge role, not just in my life, but in many people's lives. I mean, to inspire them.
That generation, right? The entire generation.
No, not only them, not only us, even after us. Like you meet people who are writing scripts now, writing like new writers, and you ask them like write a list of like 4 or 5 actors that you really want to work with. His name will always be in that list. Like I mean, he's an icon. So when he felt that way, as you can imagine, I was just like, very heartbroken.
Apparently, he called back home and said, "Listen, I need to come back home." Is that what he did?
I heard it along with you when I heard it that day. But no, but in any, I mean, I did speak to him after that.
Yeah.
When we came back from Ladakh, I went and met him, and I spoke to him, and I did tell him that that day maybe I came across very desperate.
Abrasive, right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously and I explained to him obviously what had happened and what I was stressing with. And I apologized and said, like I guess it didn't come out in the right way, but obviously I have nothing but love, and I mean we worked together since. We've done Wazir and many other things.
Right.
He's done the voiceover on this now, so I mean it's all wonderful.
Another reason why Lakshya was 3 hours plus and say 120 Bahadur would be less is because Lakshya had a first half which is completely about which is completely a story of Karan Shergill and it's coming of age story, right? I mean, the war is only the second half of it. And you've mentioned this over years, Farhan, that in a way was your life. The sort of that character was kind of inspired by you in terms of like a directionless young man chilling and figuring out what you should do next. Now, when you look back, or when as an audience, when I look back, so for instance, in Karan Shergill's life, there is a moment of epiphany. He joins the army and he finds that purpose. You were the same guy. What was your moment of epiphany? When did you stop being that guy and become everything else that you became later? If you were chilling and being a wastrel, as you put it before, was that a moment?
I think it was the first time that I went onto a film set.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I knew that I wanted to do something in the world of entertainment. I was very drawn into photography. That was like a big passion for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, massive passion for me. So I think which is
Still photography.
Still photography. Yeah. It was a massive passion for me. I had borrowed Baba Azmi's camera, which he very graciously had lent me with a couple of set of lenses. So whatever I did do at that time, I mean, it wasn't cheap. I mean, shooting on film and getting film processed.
Those rolls.
Those rolls and all that. You need a certain amount of money to be able to do it. So whatever little bit I could I could save from whatever I had at that time, I would put into that. So when I first decided that let me start doing some work in film, and I went on to a film set, which was the Lamhe. Was the film
that was
set.
the first film set.
That was the first film set that
I'm sure you'd been to movie sets before, right?
Going as a visitor and going working is two very different
You're part of the crew.
Experiences. Yeah. To go as the crew was Lamhe. And when I was working there I really felt like I belong here. That to me was the first feeling. Like I never felt like I'm out of place. I never felt like, what am I doing here? I felt very at home.
Did everyone know you were Hani Rani's son, Javed Akhtar's
I think
son?
a few people knew, but not.
She was the writer of the film, right?
Hani Rani I would imagine that apart from her, of course, Yashankal Adi, who was his chief AD at the time. But like other people that I was working with in other departments, I don't know.
So were you an AD under Aditya Chopra?
I wasn't an AD, I was an assistant cinematographer.
Oh, wow.
So I worked under Manmohan Singh actually, as an assistant cameraman.
Very underrated cinematographer, right? Given his body of work, nobody seems to talk about him as much.
Yeah, he's done a lot of work. Also, I mean, he's not somebody who was very self-promoting, very quiet man. Just came, did his work, spoke very gently.
He was your first boss.
My first boss,
yeah.
So I worked under him. And while I was working under him was when I was watching what Adi is doing. And I was seeing that his experience on a film set was a lot more holistic than mine. That he's working with the actors, he's working on dialogue. I mean, like doing some dialogue rehearsals. He's also checking on costume. He's working on set, working with the director. And I felt that, I mean, if film is something that I want to do, I somehow started getting drawn to that I want to do that. Like I'd rather put together a whole film because the visual aspect is also included within that. And that's when I switched to becoming an assistant director on the next film that I did, which was Akshay Khanna's first film actually. Himalaya Putra. Yes.
We had Akshay Khanna on set with Hit List, and I have to say it was...
He's the best.
He is the best.
Yeah, by far.
Like anything I'm asking him, sir, I don't know. I don't remember. I'm like, dude, how do we do this? We don't remember anything. How do we have this conversation? But it is the best we've had on the series.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It is so real, you know?
Yeah, he's a straight shooter.
Yeah.
Spade a spade. There's no blowing smoke up anybody's backside. Nothing is going on. He just calls it as it is, and I love that about him. Absolutely love it.
So here's the new angle now. So photographer also. We can add among all the things that you...
That was a hobby. I mean,
Sure.
it's, but I think my love for it, and I guess my respect for it, is something that I brought into directing. Like, to me, I cannot just do a shot for the sake of doing a shot. Like, I feel that, like, every...
Not just for coverage, not just an event,
just for
right?
coverage. I feel like every frame, also, if you were to watch a film without sound, the frame should do something to you. Like a photograph would.
Right.
You know, so if I see a photograph from a film,
Right.
there should be something about that image or that frame that makes me feel something, as opposed to just some random...
It could be a standalone painting.
Yeah,
it could be a standalone photograph.
So that's really stayed with me, and I think that came from my love for photography.
You know, Farhan, I've been covering the movies for many years now, and it's one of the things that struck me much later, because there are not that many fields in the world where you find such interesting, such smart, such talented people, but it also has the most number of college dropouts, if you were to just look at one field.
Yeah, sure.
And it occurs to me that it's probably because they all wanted to be in the films, but there was no place to learn the films.
Yeah,
so they just dropped out of college. Was that the case with you as well?
Yeah, there wasn't that. I mean, like I said, I wanted to be a cinematographer.
Yeah.
So when I realized, this played a role in Laksh as well, which I could identify with. You know, I mean, I went and did a commerce course in college because my friends were going. You know, and that's Karan Shergill goes through those same beats.
And you'll just figure it out, like, later what you want to do?
I was just like, you know, I'm going to go to college. Do I want to be sitting there with people I don't know? I'd rather go with my friends. So I went...
Who are these friends that you went to HR?
I mean, Ritesh, for example, is one of them.
Ritesh
is one. And there were many others, you know, who were going into a commerce degree because they had futures in business in their heads.
Right, like Ritesh, who had
had a family business. I had no thought or inclination also to be like, I'll be a businessman, because I had no interest. But I was just like, chalo, my friends are going, let's have fun. So within 2 years of doing commerce, I realized, yeah, this is completely not for me.
But you didn't consider, like, say, a film school or something for us?
No, I did.
That time?
So I reached out to the Film Institute. In Pune.
Okay.
And to find out that I want to do a course in cinematography. And at that time, I don't know if it's changed or not now, but you had to have done graduation, if I'm not mistaken, in science.
Oh. You need to know physics, chemistry.
Yeah. So I think it was either graduation or maybe at least your 12th standard.
Your 12th standard.
Maybe your 12th standard in science had to be done. And I was like, which means I have to now go back and start from science. I'm like, nahi yaar, ye mujhse nahi hoga. And why do you need science? Huh? You know what I mean? Like, you can go and learn about the lens there. You can learn about light. You can learn about lens. That's what they are.
Yeah, you don't understand refraction and everything else.
I mean, also, if you do, teach me there. I'm coming there to learn that. Yeah? So, I mean, the eye is important. No? In this. So anyway, so when they said science, and I'm like, nahi yaar, ye mujhse nahi hoga. Then I started working as an assistant cameraman, and that became my school.
Right.
The learning on the job.
So if you hadn't made, for instance, Dil Chahta Hai as your first film, you could have been a cinematographer as a...
No, that changed.
No, but you were clear. After Lame, you were clear that you want to be a director.
I was very clear that I wanted to be a director, and then I worked consistently towards that. As an assistant in film, as in like an assistant in advertising for many years.
How many years?
3.5 years.
Okay.
So 3.5 years I worked only in, and there I got really to learn the ropes of production, of post-production. All of that I learned on advertising.
Editing and stuff like that.
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah.
Learned everything there, and was taught by Adi Pucha, who I consider my first proper guru. He taught me the importance of writing if you want to be in a creative field. He's like, you have to be able to write.
Whether or not you're a writer.
Whether or not you're a writer, if you're directing, you should know about writing. If you're acting, you should know about writing. So writing is something that you should do. So and then I guess he noticed that there is a spark in me to be able to write, because I had a very creative imagination, which could be put to use. So he just got me into the discipline of writing. And actually, that's the toughest part of writing. I'm sure you've experienced it. You know, is actually sitting down day on day and doing it. I mean, everyone has thoughts and everyone has great ideas. It's putting it down on paper. That is the challenge, and having to do it consistently over months or years at times. It takes a lot to be able to do that, and he instilled that discipline in me.
So at 25, Farhan, you make Dil Chahta Hai. And of course, everyone talks about, how much of a turning point that film was in terms of aesthetics, in terms of even the way movies are made, etc., etc. What was it like for you when you're 25 years old and you know what, you're the rock star director, like the whole world is kind of looking at you. This is your first film. And the movie industry can be extremely, how do I put it? They love a new talent. Right? I mean, you get like lots of bouquets. Do you remember like the best compliment you got? Like, did Amitabh Bachchan send you a letter? He tends to send letters
Yeah, he did.
when he really enjoys
He
a
did
performance.
actually send me a letter, which was a very. I mean, I still have it. Of course, it's
framed somewhere.
No, it's kept,
there with you.
Yeah, it's kept with
among
me,
many other things.
Among many other important such memories in my life. He sent me a letter. Nasir Saab sent me a letter.
Oh yeah.
As well after the film, and no, I mean that film received a lot of love.
Yeah.
From a lot of people, and it felt great. I don't think I was ready to deal with what was going to come post that film, because in my approach to that movie was that I want to make this film and that's it. Like I had no idea of a career that's going to follow. Like this will be my first stepping stone.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Launch.
Yeah. I never thought of it like that. I was like, this is what I want to make, and then whatever happens, happens. But it went well, and people were extremely gracious after that, very, very loving, very, very accepting. All of that did happen, but I was very lost.
Okay.
Yeah, I was very lost. I mean, I didn't know what to do next because I had no plan of what
I'm
to
sure
do.
you enjoyed the moment though.
No, of course you do.
Yeah.
Of course you do enjoy the moment. But like I think that I probably could have been better. I don't think I was well prepared for its success. You know what I mean? I don't think.
And you're also 25.
Not that I became arrogant or none of that stuff happened. But I didn't know how to deal with it. I really didn't know. So I actually was, for the longest time, and we'll come to that later. But for the longest time, was very. I would deflect any kind of compliment or praise or anything that kind of came my way about anything. I would always underplay it and kind of just move it. And not really just take it in and be like, okay, wow, something amazing has happened. Let me enjoy it. It wasn't.
Why? Because you didn't want that to get into your head? Or were you getting bored of compliments?
No, it's not that. No, I mean, I don't know. I think probably it had something to do with, I don't know, maybe I don't know whether my opinion of self at that point was maybe not that great.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, no, I don't know what you're saying.
No,
you made a great film. It's worked out.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, like somehow it didn't sink in that like I should enjoy the success of this movie. It took me a while to be able to really come around to beginning to enjoy the post aspects of a film. If the film did well, I would just kind of dive straight back into what next. I would find that a part of me found that frivolous. A part of me found that maybe, I don't know, having seen other people go through it before, like I thought it's fleeting, so don't give it too much importance. Maybe all those things were playing in some kind of way. And a part of me always just, I don't know, maybe I don't know what it is and where it comes from. It doesn't anymore.
Yeah.
But at that point, felt like, I don't know if I deserve, you know what I mean? Like
imposter syndrome?
Yeah, that imposter syndrome.
Yeah?
Slightly, yeah.
Itna bhi kya great hai, film movie
like that feeling.
Why are you going berserk kind of thing?
There was also that, so I'd be very embarrassed with that stuff.
That's amazing. I mean, and now of course you've kind of dealt with it. Are you good with compliments now?
The person who really helped me deal with it, weirdly enough, was Vidya Balan when I was working with her on Shaadi Ke Side Effects.
Okay.
So Shaadi Ke Side Effects was the first time.
But that's much later, huh?
Yeah, much later. That's 2013.
13?
Yeah.
This movie came out in 2001.
In 2013 was when I started being able to deal with it properly, because it was on the back of Bhag Milka Bhag. And again, everybody was saying wonderful things about the film, wonderful things about the performance. And and she noticed, which I would almost do unconsciously, that if somebody started speaking to me about Bhag Milka, I would then start talking about the scene or start talking about their film, or that. And then she came up to me one day on the set and she's like, do you have a problem? So I said, why? She's like, why are you not, if somebody's coming and telling you they like your film, and your work is really good. Why can't you just smile, say thank you, feel
Accept
happy,
graciously,
you
yeah.
know? So I'm like, yaar, it makes my toes curl, you know. So she made me very, like, she said, no, you have to do it. You have to do it. And then, of course, we were promoting the film together. So we spent that and shooting the film. So during that time, when we were in that little pocket of time that we
Yeah.
had together, whenever I was with her, I would realize she's watching. So then I would behave like a
Thank you,
yeah,
thank
yeah.
you.
I would do all that stuff, and then slowly but surely I realized that, you know what, it has a nice effect on the other person.
Yeah.
You know, that it feels warm and it feels good, because I used to come across as very snobby and cold because I used to like be embarrassed about it. And then slowly but surely I realized actually this is a better thing to do.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if you continue to only be a director post Dil Chahta, it would have still been easier, right? Because I mean, no matter what you say, the fact is that if you're, I mean, of course, there are very well known faces who are directors as well.
Yeah, of course.
But the chances of you hiding once you're an actor is zero. Because wherever you go, people are going to look at
Yeah, of
you
course.
and they're going to say something nice to you.
Yeah, yeah.
Why else are they coming towards you
Yeah,
anyway?
yeah.
It could be something you made 20 years ago for all
Yeah,
for all
sure.
you know, right?
Yeah.
I was watching you somewhere in a conversation where you said something which I thought was pretty cool. Is when you were making Dil Chahta Hai, and last 10 days before the shoot,
Yeah.
Saif backed out, and then you had an emergency meeting.
Yeah.
And at that emergency meeting, Amir tells you that if Saif is not coming back, you are playing that role.
Yeah, he did.
One, how did Amir know that you have like this
No, he
actor
didn't.
inside you?
He had no such feeling.
So then,
His only feeling was that nobody else will understand this part like you're understanding it. Right? That was the only. He was like, whoever plays this, guys, we're ready to go. We're not going to pull the plug 10 days before everything
Right.
is in place. So he said, for any reason, if we can't convince him, then I mean, he's like, you're the only person who knows what this part requires.
and we're too late now to like
Yeah,
go
yeah,
through
to
the whole
go and
process.
like, yeah,
And
find
Saif had
somebody
already
else.
been through that process.
Yeah, we had done readings with Saif. His look had been done. Everything. Had
Why
been
was
done.
he backing off like 10 days?
Yes, I mean, when you meet him, you can ask
I
him.
should ask him, yeah.
You can ask him. But I mean, I'm only really, really thankful that he didn't.
Yeah.
That he saw that there's value in this film.
Yeah.
Because genuinely, Mayank, I could not imagine anybody else.
Not even yourself.
No, me to impossible.
But
only.
many years later, when you did Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara,
Yeah.
it's a similar vibe. The role has a similar vibe, right? In certain way.
I mean, yeah, he is like the kind of the joker of the group.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so to speak,
Yeah.
the fun guy. But I mean, in that moment and at that time, like I remember very clearly. I mean, of course, after the first thing which I had this dream in my head, the cast that I wanted, when that didn't happen, you know, which was Akshay, Hrithik, and Abhishek.
Okay, that was the original trio.
When I was writing it,
Right.
I was like, it's a young film about these three young guys. They're about to debut. When I was writing that, the two of them are not even
Yeah.
debuted yet.
Oh, really?
I mean,
when you
Akshay-
started writing, yeah, of course.
Akshay had.
Of course. Yeah.
Akshay had.
Akshay had, of course.
But Hrithik and Abhishek had not debuted.
But you knew them
I knew they were,
regardless.
and I knew, no, also I knew that they were acting in their first
Yeah,
films.
yeah.
Like I knew he's doing Refugee and I
and-
knew he's doing Kauna.
Kauna Pyar, of course, and Hanina wrote
She wrote
Kauna Pyar,
Kauna.
yeah.
So I knew that they're acting now. So I thought it'll be amazing to get these three guys together. Like young, you know, everybody.
was your original
Yeah,
cast,
that was the
right.
original cast. So anyway, when that didn't happen, like my first thought on who can be Samir was Saif. You know, from whatever little interaction I had with him, he had the timing for it.
Yeah.
You know, and he
Yeah.
had that humor and that self-deprecating humor and that lost kind of confused guy. So he was ideal for it. You know, so I was so happy that he said yes to doing that part, that my heart broke that those 10 days
Right.
prior. Yeah, I'm like that he might not, you know, be able to do it. But I'm just glad that it worked out. And I honestly, I mean, I feel that in his performances in his career, I mean, he's got many great films.
It's a turning point for him as
Not
well.
only turning point, I think it's one of his finest.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm
Yeah.
not saying that with some bias thing because I mean
Sure.
it's my film, but he was really, really
Yeah.
good.
There's
Really
another
good.
side to him that we saw, which we hadn't until
And
Dil
yeah, it
Chahta
was
Hai, right?
hidden. I mean,
Yeah.
he should never have hidden that side because I mean it really is him. I mean, then he went on to do very similar kind of like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean that
He
mold.
became the multiplex hero after that for
and
Yash
the,
Raj
yeah,
in
the
particular.
metro,
The metro hero.
metropolitan, yeah, what is it called? The metrosexual hero
Yeah.
is what he became after that. Yeah.
So when the reason why I thought of this is because I mean you've been in the movies, Farhan, and you know you've known say the Amirs of the world in some form or the other
Yeah.
because of family associations and stuff like that. At what point did they all know? I assume that Amir knew that you have like this actor in you.
I'm not sure. Yeah. I don't know if Amir knew that or not. I think, I mean, like I mentioned, Adi poached you
He knew
earlier. He knew.
because you've done some work.
No, not because I'd done some work. I think because of just how he saw that I was And I used to love entertaining, you know what I mean? So when those crew parties and all, like, I mean, I had film shoots for 2 days, but we still have a rap party. One little contingency budget is always kept. And what is a rap party? You buy beers for the whole crew. There's no venue and all that stuff doesn't happen. So I used to always be entertaining people. So he knew somewhere that this guy has got some kind of a latent actor streak hanging around inside. So he met, if I'm not mistaken, I think he met my dad. Or he met Shabana, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I can't remember. He met one of them at the airport. And he introduced himself. So they said, oh my God, yeah, Farhan works with you. And he's, he's saying that he's having a great time. So he told them, he's like, listen, I don't know whether he's going to act, direct, right? He's like, he might end up doing all of them. But he will do really well.
In general.
Yeah, in general.
That's a reassuring thing to say to a parent.
Nice. They were like so happy. They must have had a great flight. Yeah. But he did recognize stuff.
So how does this work? Like you made the films that you did as a director, and then you make your debut. If I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, the first person who offered you an actor's part in a film was actually Rakesh Om Prakash Mehra. Is that correct? For Rang De Basanti.
Yeah, he did.
Is he the first person who ever approached you for an actor's job?
Yeah, the first person ever.
Really?
Yeah.
How did he know that that's what you want to do? Because
no, I didn't. Actually, at that point, I was not even remotely...
not even vaguely interested?
No, I wasn't. This was 2004, 2005, I think. I had finished Laksh. And I was getting into the writing of Dawn.
Okay.
And I met him at this one club that he also goes to and that I also go to.
Otters Club in Bandra.
The wonderful Otters Club. So I met him there, and he just very randomly came up to me one day and he said, listen, I'm doing this film and I would love for you to read this part in it. So...
And he was like, why? Like, why me? Did you not?
So I told him, I said, listen, I'm not acting, I'm going to be directing my film soon. So he said, नहीं तू पढ़ ले, you met Rakesh. He said, no, तू पढ़ ले पहले, उसके बाद हम लोग बात करेंगे. So I read the script. Script was amazing, right? So I read the script, and but I was like, yaar, I can't act. Like I've never acted. I can't act, and this is like it's a serious role. You know what I mean? So I don't feel prepared. I don't feel right to say yes just on a whim to do something like this. So I turned it down, and I said, listen,
So what did he think of you, of all the people?
I don't know. Maybe
you don't know.
I don't know. I mean, he had the same epiphany, I guess, with Bhag Milka Bhag and how he imagined me in that part.
Yeah, eventually you did. You did.
Like, so we did that.
Yeah, you did 2 films.
Yeah, Tufan after
that.
Yeah,
Tufan as well.
But I mean, I wasn't ready at that time. So it took a script, I think, like Rock On, which is something that was easier for me to maybe...
So even Rock On, for that matter, Farhan, like you're not an actor, a professional actor at the time. Why would someone pitch a script to you at all for an actor's job?
Yeah, these are questions that I don't have the answer.
It just happened again? Like,
I don't have the answer to it. I mean, Abhishek is probably better equipped to answer.
And you've known him for years. I mean, even before.
Yeah, I've known him for many, many years.
Yeah.
And he was convinced. He was absolutely convinced that I have to be the guy. He was absolutely convinced that I have to sing my own songs. He didn't even know that I played guitar. He didn't know. He had no knowledge.
That's a leap of faith, no?
Yeah. So I mean, it's pretty amazing. So he said, we'll practice and we'll get you a teacher. And so I said, no.
And we'll use your voice as well. Like he was clear about that.
Yeah, he was very, very clear.
So you didn't just make an acting debut. You also made your singing debut with the same film as your first film.
Yeah, it was. But for me, from the point of view of not having acted before, although I did have some acting experience with Fakir of Venice before.
Fakir of Venice, that Arun sir. Maybe they'd seen this. Maybe they'd seen that film.
He had not seen it. No. That film wasn't seen for a long, long time.
Has still not been seen for.
No, it released finally.
Finally released.
I can't remember when, but it came out many years later.
Right. Before I forget, was the lead role of the part that you played in the film, was it inspired by Homi Aditya?
Yes, it was.
It's actually based on Homi Aditya's life.
Based not on his life,
the director,
but on one incident in his life, which is
you in the film, because you're like this guy who's basically, for people who haven't seen the film, and very few have, is there's a story of I would say like a guy who works on sets.
He's
like
a production.
He's a production production controller.
Yeah.
Who has to find a guy who can be an installation as installation art in a museum, and that's a fakir from Banaras.
They are looking for a fakir who can do that samadhi.
Huh.
Fakirs who bury themselves in the ground. So they reach out
As an
to,
art installation.
yeah, as an art installation, because all the fakirs that the artist reaches out to, the real fakirs, they say, boss, we don't need to travel there. You all want to see what, you want to meet us, you want to experience us, you come here. We are not exhibition. We are not people who come and like line art exhibitions.
Right.
That's not why we do what we do. So they reach out to a production guy and say, can you find us someone? So there is some guy who does it on Juhu Beach for money. So he takes this guy, dresses him up as a fakir, makes him grow his beard and all that stuff, and takes him to Venice.
That's Anu Kapoor in the movie.
That's Anu Kapoor.
Yeah.
And he takes him to the Biennale in Venice and makes him this exhibition, this installation there. And it's essentially their friendship and a kind of life journey, coming to terms with responsibilities, certain moralities in art, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So really, really interesting.
So this actually happened to Homi Jania.
Then actually, Homie made it happen.
Made it happen.
Yeah, I mean, Homie was the guy who caught a guy and took him.
That's what I'm saying.
He was a hoarding painter, the guy who he took.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, he used to paint hoardings. He took that chap and took him there as a fakir.
At the Biennale?
At the Biennale.
At the Biennale?
Yeah.
Damn, that is crazy.
So that's the story. Yeah.
So,
So in my list of biopics, I started off with Homi Adajania.
and you had the biggest biopic when at the time, and perhaps even now, but Bhag Milkha Bhag, it was the first biopic to cross 100 crores in the box office.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Well,
Okay.
I'm glad that you don't follow box office numbers, etc. But that was and that of course set off a trend of the number of biopics we've seen since. It wasn't a very common thing at the time, right?
No, it wasn't. There weren't that many.
A lot is spoken about how you prepped for that role, and of course it shows on the screen as well. But even Tufan, right? I mean, that's another transformation purely when you're playing a boxer of that caliber. Was that equally tough? Who all did you get? Like, I think, if I'm not mistaken, you had like a team of coaches from the world of professional boxing.
Yeah, there was this one gentleman called Daryl Foster, who came in from the US. So he was someone who had worked on Sugar Ray Leonard's team. He was in his corner. He used to train with. He was a part of his coaching team.
He must be old man then.
I know, but bro, I mean, if you saw him, he could knock down a tree with one hand if he wanted to. So there was him. There was Drew Neil, who I still train with. I still do some boxing with him. So he's actually like a ex kickboxing world champion, but also is really, really good at boxing. So I trained with him. Sam, who's my fitness nutrition trainer. And
currently
then of course, currently as well. And then a physio who you need for when you're putting your body through such intensive stuff. So predominantly a team of about 4 or 5 people that we worked with. But it was really intense, the training for that, because I mean, I'd never boxed before in my life. So really had to learn the skill, and you realize it's so much more about what goes on in your mind as opposed to just physical strength or physical prowess. I mean, we really got into it. When we were training, we would actually spar and do all that kind of stuff because it was important. Daryl felt to get hit in training, so you understand what it feels like. So when you're filming, you don't have to pretend so much. You kind of have something to go off. And even in the filming, I mean, there were no pulled punches. We didn't do that air K and where you just react like you're getting hit. You were actually, what he taught us was how to take a punch for camera. That's what he taught us. So every single punch that you see in that film actually is a contact punch. It's how he's taught the person receiving the punch to roll with it is what sells it. Right?
Wow.
So you're touching the other person. You constantly are touching the other person. There's no
It's like that and Dijum.
No. There's no Dijum Bishap. It's not happening.
Did they actually use that sound? Like that sound when you see in the 70s movies, they say Bijum. Bijum. Do you think there's some human being just saying Bijum?
Yeah.
That's what they're doing,
but
right?
sample kiya hoga na?
Not every time, but it's a recorded thing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like they couldn't just punch a real thing and then use that sound.
No, you needed that.
You
for
need
that time.
No,
you can't have that. And when you hit somebody really hard, it used to go to Bishap. It used to go to the ass sound.
That's when he falls flat.
Yeah. It used to even go there.
But when you were making Luck by Chance, for instance, Farhan, and because that's a role of an actor, aspiring actor who wants to be an actor.
Yeah.
And that person goes through a lot of training to be a Bollywood star.
Yeah.
So you can see him learn choreography, you can see him learn action,
Horse riding,
horse
karate.
riding. You literally learn those things because that became your training to be a star as well.
For the film you mean?
Yes.
No, not at all. I didn't learn any of the thing. In fact, that when I went for that horse riding, I'm not very.
But that's very convincing. The horse riding.
Thank you.
You are doing it, right?
Genuinely, yeah, I am doing
It's
it.
not a horse like a
No.
lakri wala.
It's a real horse, and I have actually had a very frightening experience on a horse when I was a kid.
Okay.
Where
Mathiran.
on Juhu Beach.
Okay.
Where as a kid, I was put on the horse, and I don't know if you remember when they took you from point A to point B,
Which doesn't happen anymore. Yeah.
which doesn't anymore, but they used to walk you from point A to point B. They would walk you, and then they would run you back. So the gallop would happen on the way back, but in a canter, where the guy used to run with the horse. So as a kid, you'd get a feeling that you're
Right.
going fast. It was very entertaining. So this one time that I had gone, when he turned around, the horse took off, and he couldn't hold on to it anymore.
Oh damn.
Yeah. So the horse galloped off. And
This guy just left.
No, he didn't leave it. He started running with it, but then the horse decided that I want to go faster.
Right.
And he couldn't control the horse. So as I was stuck on that horse, because I was a kid, I couldn't jump off, and I was just holding on for dear life. And this horse just ran, and then some other people came and tried to stop it, and then finally it stopped. But I had a traumatic experience of being on that horse, and after which I've never been comfortable.
Right. I can
sitting on a
imagine.
horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, never. Been. Like I've been to Mathiran also with my friends, and you sit, but I've always been very uncomfortable sitting on a horse. So in this scene, when Zoya was there, I mean, it's like this is you go through these. This is the rite of passage, na?
Correct.
Of becoming an actor, learning horse riding. So we went to that beach, and Zoya was like, "We're going to do the horse riding shot." So I said, "Listen, where do you want me to start? I'm just going to get onto the horse and ride. And the minute you're correct, I'm just like, I don't want to sit on it, learn how to do it." I said, "I'm not interested. The only thing I've been taught is when you get onto a horse, I mean, the reins are of course important, but what you really need to do is you need to hold on to the horse with your legs. That's where you really no, not the side, not your feet.
Yeah.
With the thighs, you press into the side of the horse.
So that horse can feel you on from.
And that actually gives you the most stability. Is holding on with this, which you don't really think about. You think I'm holding the reins and my stirrups are there, so I'll be okay.
Yeah.
But this is what you hold on with. So I said, you just get as many cameras as you want up. Because I'm going to do this once. I'm not going to do it again. So Zoya knew what had happened to me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So they kind of set it up in one long lens, one tracking shot, all happening simultaneously together. And
This is the first time you're getting on a horse since you were a kid, I'm guessing.
Yeah, pretty much. I had not gotten onto a horse.
And you haven't practiced for this. You just are going to do just.
I met the horse. They got me. I fed it some biscuits and all that stuff, so that it could know who I am. But I got onto the back, and they took me to point A, and I was like, "Chalo, roll!" And because I had to gallop, I'm just going for it. So I just went, and I said, "Please don't anybody come in the way and scare the horse. Let the horse go." And at some point, this horse will stop by itself. It'll get bored because nothing is happening. So I just went on the back of the horse, and I held on for dear life and tried to look as cool as I possibly could on that horse. And the horse ran. They cut. The horse kept running. I went with the horse for a little while here, there, and the other. I'm like, I'm not.
You just figured out like how to maneuver.
No, a little bit. They
gave you some
but
instructions.
then finally the horse went into the water.
Oh.
So it decided that I want to go into the water. So it went into the water, and then when it was like roughly maybe just over knee deep for me, if I was standing in the water, I said, "Chalo, this is enough."
Now you
and
can jump off.
And I just jumped off and left the thing. But that was my horse riding experience on Luck by Chance.
That's amazing. So when you came on board this particular film, Farhan, and here I'm asking you because you're also a producer, and there are lots of young people who want to be filmmakers. They will be watching this conversation. This was a script that Zoya had for many years until she managed to make it with you. That's because you also became a lead actor post Rock On. When you became a lead actor, was that a big moment, like Dil Chahta Hai type moment, when the whole movie industry is like, "Hey, naya lead actor aaya hai"? Did you get a lot of letters? And I know Salim Khan wrote you a letter.
No, Salim Saab, I mean, it's beyond gracious of him. He saw the film, he invited me to his house, and he gave me his Filmfare Award of Zanjeer.
Oh, wow.
He said, "We had got this for our first film that broke out, and I absolutely loved your performance, and I want you to have this award of mine." So, yes, it's amazing. It's amazing. But yeah, I mean, that film did really well. The film did well.
Yeah.
And for everyone, for Arjun, for, Abhishek, for Purab, for Prachi, for everyone. It did really well. And after the thing, Zoya had written Luck by Chance in 2002.
Yeah.
And we were producing it. So for 7 years, Ritesh and I were trying to cast that film with Zoya. And just, I mean, it was just, I don't know, her stars were not aligned there. Like every time she thought it's going to start, something would, the rug would get pulled out from under her feet. Where to a point she had almost pretty much given up on that script. But we loved that script.
Yeah.
And we kept trying.
It is a perfect script.
Yeah, we just constantly tried to get it made, but somehow it just wasn't the time. Actors were looking for different things to do. So when Rock On got made and Rock On did well, I just told Zoya, I was like, listen, please let's make that film. I mean, I've been wanting to produce it. Now I think I can act in it.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and do it. And it's a weird parallel, na? That's what happens to Vikram in the film. Is everybody says no, so
exactly. Yeah.
You cast this guy.
Yeah.
So that's really what happened with that movie.
No, the reason why I'm asking that question, Farhan, is because like that happened with you as well. I mean, you wrote Dil Chahta Hai, and of course you got extremely lucky. You don't get a better cast than that at the time. Not so the case with Zoya in the sense that she was with that script from 2002 to 2009, if I'm not mistaken. What would you say to screenwriters in general, or people who are writing scripts in order to make them into films as directors, perhaps? Do they stick with one thing because they just love this, or do they make a lot of scripts and go around, hoping that someone will shop and someone will pick up one of them at least?
Yeah, I would imagine as a writer, I mean, unless you're commissioned to write something by a director or a producer, that's a different thing. But I think as a writer, it's important to keep writing different ideas. I mean, I think that's a part of your job. Even if you're not developing them into full-fledged screenplays to start with, I mean, at least to have complete stories that you can share with a producer or a director should you get the opportunity to. That's important to do.
Like a one-pager or a synopsis?
For more than a one-pager.
Okay.
I think to have a clear beginning, middle, end as a story, and some detailing on tonality of film, I think is important to have, and character sketches is nice to have. I think that's a good way to go about it, because you never know what might appeal to someone. Because every director, every producer at times is looking for something different in where they are in their journey to want to do. So it's difficult to, but once you start work on something, like say for example you meet somebody, you pitch an idea, they say okay, go ahead, let's go ahead and do it. Then I feel it's important to give that
everything you got.
Everything, and then not get sidetracked into saying, but I'm also doing this and I'm also doing that. Then it gets a little bit difficult, because you expect that from everybody else in your crew as well. You can't tell your DOP, Acha, you're shooting 2 days with me, now go off and shoot 3 days there, or go do a night film and come back. You want that focus, that really, and it works. That focus helps. If you live with the same thing day in, day out, you sleep thinking about it, you wake up thinking about it, ideas just suddenly come from nowhere. What could be different, what could be better, or what doesn't work. So you have to live with that. It's not a 9 to 5. It's not a 9 to 5 job.
Right.
It's not.
It's like 9 a.m. to next day, 9 a.m. job.
That's really you're constant. You're living and breathing it.
Yeah. How does it work for you? Like when as an actor, or perhaps and more so as a producer, do you like reading scripts, or do you prefer it being narrated to you?
No, I much prefer reading.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I much prefer reading.
But isn't a script also like a performance at some level? It's going to be performed.
Yeah, but the thing is that sometimes the performance can be misleading, because you may enjoy the performance and realize that I'm not enjoying the script.
Right.
That can also happen. But reading is, to me, I've realized over time, is a better way, because it's somehow allowing you to paint pictures without somebody else. If it's not on the page, you know what I mean? Then it's difficult for someone to imagine. So I feel the best representation of a writer's work or a writer-director is if they can clearly put down on paper what it is that they're thinking. Because that's the thing that is universal, that everybody is going to read. And everybody will understand.
Right.
If I have to sit with you and then explain to you, magar aisa bhi hoga aur waisa bhi hoga, then that could change depending on your mood every time you meet someone. So I much prefer reading. It allows me to create my own imagery of what I'm seeing. I prefer that. And also, on a slightly selfish note, that if the narration is not good or the script is not good that you're being narrated to, it's a very difficult position to be.
Like, what do you say after?
No,
It's
no,
like being in a.
what do you do during? No, honestly, what do you do? I mean, you have to see it through. You know, it's very difficult to say, "Yaar, bas karo, mujhe aur nahi
And
sunna
you're like
hai."
looking at time. It's been an hour and a half.
You find like interesting ways to like, like what do
Pretend
you
like
do?
you're up.
Yeah, or that you're listening.
Yeah.
Because it can be difficult. It can be.
You know, I had a conversation with a producer recently, a Korean producer who's been living in Bombay for the past 10 years. His name is Hyun Woo Thomas Kim.
Okay.
He runs a company called Cross Pictures. I wrote about him recently in my column. And I was quite stunned by, here's a guy who came from Seoul. And what he realized, he realized he had no idea about India.
Yeah.
He realized that यहाँ तो लोग अंग्रेजी बोलते हैं, so I can do business. Because he was sort of raised in America as well.
Right.
And then he realized that, there is a problem here. Huge market, great directors, great actors, shit scripts. I said, you know what, I can fill this gap. There is Korea, and we make these great films. That quality is another level. I can take those scripts and pitch here. One, do you think that's really the case? And here I'm talking to you as not just an actor or a director for that matter. I'm talking to you as an industry leader, right? Because Excel Entertainment is one of the top firms in the Indian film industry. You guys have produced like incredible amount of work, whether it's OTTs or theatrical releases, shows, etc., etc. Do you, as a producer, as a creative man within the film industry, do you feel there's a serious lack of writing talent?
No, I don't feel that. I think if anything, there is a lack of bravado. Let me say it that way.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think you have to be able to support anything new scares people. Anything that's not currently doing well scares people. Everyone wants a version of what is doing well right now. If somebody comes to you with something that has no connection with anything that is working right now, more often than not, it puts the fear of God into someone. Saying, "Yaar, ye to, matlab, kaun dekhega? There's nobody there to see it." Right? Or then they'll start thinking, OTT. You know what I mean? That's the other thought that they'll have. But what you realize over time is that genuinely on some level, the biggest successes have been those that have disrupted. Or at least the memorable ones are the ones that have disrupted. So for that, you need a certain bravado, a certain risk-taking in your personality, a certain confidence in yourself that, yaar, if I believe this is good, then we must do it. If you're going to live and die at the altar of box office, which has become a disease of that defines everything, that defines success, that defines where your career is, then you're in serious trouble. So I don't think writers are a problem.
You don't think so?
No, I don't
think so. In terms of talent?
No. See, also, people get pigeonholed. If I write 15 scripts and nobody's taking those scripts, and that's my job, I will eventually end up writing something that I know is...
That someone will pick up.
That someone
which is
will.
whatever the bread and butter scripts.
Come on, you have to do that. You
Yeah.
can't be like, आप इतने उसूल से stick करके रहो कि मतलब भूखे मर जाओगे मगर script नहीं बेचोगे. How can you say that to someone? You give a writer an opportunity, a good writer. If you recognize somebody is a good writer, you give them an opportunity that, boss, go off and write me a really good script from your heart. You know what I mean? More often than not, they will come back with something of substance. A good writer will.
Yeah.
Right? But then do you have the courage to go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to make it? Because everybody starts thinking, ye dekhega kaun. That's where it starts from. So I don't think writing is a problem. I think we need more fearless producers is what I think we do need. I think that's really where and we need an audience that would hopefully start patronizing those kind of movies. Because we've seen films in recent times that are good films that have been praised by everybody who's seen them. There are people who have gone not being, what is it called, paid to go and say, or, as part of promotion, have of their own free will posted videos saying, please jaake ye film dekhiye, I've just seen it. And still people don't go because they feel nahi yaar ye looks thodi alag lag rahi hai. So it's
OTT mein dekh lenge.
Yeah, so that can be disheartening as well. At the end of the day, I mean, you have to straddle art with business. There's no choice. And I mean, if a producer ends up losing money on something, he or she will think twice about wanting to do something again. But you have to be fearless here. That you have to.
Would you consider yourself a fearless producer?
I mean, to a certain extent, yes. I mean, we do dabble in as many things as we possibly can, and I mean, we've had our share of things that are missed that we really believed in, as well. So yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, yes. I mean, most recently, like for example, with films like a Superboys of Malegaon or a film like Boong. And did you see Boong?
I haven't seen Boom. No,
Arey,
sorry. Yeah,
please watch it.
I will check it out. Yeah,
Please watch it. So these on the face of it, I mean, they don't, if they don't on the face of it are not like commercial properties to that kind of extent that one imagines.
Yeah.
But they are beautiful stories, and I genuinely really feel very sad that they didn't find the kind of audience that they deserved. I do feel sad about that. Yeah, so which is why I mean when somebody tells me na कि यार बॉलीवुड में मतलब लोग अच्छी फिल्में नहीं बना रहे, I'm like बॉस मेरे को मत बोलो प्लीज डोंट
आप तो देख ही नहीं रहे हो.
आप देख नहीं रहे हो, डोंट टर्न अराउंड एंड टेल मी हैव यू सीन दिस फिल्म इन द थिएटर. नहीं देखी ना आपने, चलो जाइए प्लीज.
Because a lot of conversation happens around writers because that's the starting point,
Yeah, of
right?
course.
Of anything that you're going to make thereafter.
Yeah.
As a producer, other things that you've done which would be like a standard template that the rest of the industry can follow. For instance, I would say I don't know how much money you can throw at the problem, and like to sort of financially sort of protect talents who are writers, because where are they going to get, because it takes a long time to develop scripts, right?
Of course.
On that front, have other steps that you've taken, having been a writer, director yourself, and then a producer, of course,
in terms
of like other certain things that you would ensure that your writers are really well paid,
yeah,
for
of course.
instance.
I mean, it's a weird thing for you to say,
Sure.
for me to say myself.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you speak to writers who worked with us, they'll tell you what it feels like to work with Excel.
Yeah.
We had also very long time back introduced what's it called, a 2% point share, with writers on profit of films. So that is something
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Yeah.
2%
of the profit goes to the writer.
I mean, of the producer's profit.
Of the producer's profit, right.
Goes to them. So there's all these things that we've introduced. And I mean, it is, but I mean, you have to encourage and you have to like kind of empower and cultivate people wanting to be writers also.
And credit also, right?
No, credit to 100%.
100%.
But I mean,
I'll tell you why I'm asking this question about credit, Farhan, because it became a case study. Hani Irani and DDLJ became a case study of its time. The fact that she worked on the script of the film, and now to what extent was being debated, not the fact that whether she worked on it or not, and that she was not credited for that film. Did as a young person who was of course you were a kid at the time, or sort of starting out, or perhaps not even, you were probably an assistant at the time. Was that something you told yourself, listen man, it's never going to happen under my watch?
No, I mean that's not the reason for it. And I mean the good part of that whole thing that happened, and obviously it was very heartbreaking, I think, for all concerned.
Yeah.
Because I mean the relationship that my mum shared, we shared with Yashji, with Pam Aunty, with that family. Well, I mean it was like one family.
Yeah.
And I mean for me, I mean they still are my brothers. When I think of them. So I'm just really glad that I mean now all of that is behind us. I mean, things happen between people who love each other, and I mean, at some point you have to find it within yourself to like kind of move on, forgive and forget. So I'm really glad that that's happened because they are important people in all our lives, so it was unfortunate what happened, but I mean, now the silver lining is that it's kind of behind us and everyone's moved on, and graciously so. So that's a good thing.
It's also been 30 years.
Yeah. So I mean, that all has happened. But for me, I think just from the fact that my mom's a writer and my dad's a writer, just to start with.
Yeah, exactly.
And not only that, I mean, both of them like got a lot of respect when they were writing. They got a lot of respect when they were writing. I mean, my dad and Salim uncle to a whole other level only. But they've all got a lot of respect when they were writing. So, and Zoya and me come from that background, of like wanting to write and writing our own scripts first, pitching our own scripts about, and so we know that it's not an easy process here. Like even when a director comes in onto a script, and as much as the director wants to make it his or her own, and will be like, maine bhi ideas diye hain, that sitting down every day and writing every day is a completely different ball game. So that has to be respected. So that's been very, very clear from from the word go. And I mean, now that we've like kind of interacted even more like with Anjum Rajawali, who you also
Yes.
know very well, he was telling us things that still kind of plague
Yeah.
the Writers Association, things that
Yeah.
still are problems in terms of like the minimum that they should charge for a film, which I still feel is still too minimum. Even though they've agreed upon a certain thing and they've all kind of internally said, okay, we will not work for below so and so amount. Personally, if you ask me, I feel that that lowest amount is still too low. They should really lift that. That floor should be raised a lot more, if you ask me personally.
For those who are watching this, and they should watch this episode of Sit with Hit List with Javed Akhtar, there's a long passage out there where he explains how he managed to get the bill passed for lyricists getting royalty, right?
And music composers.
And music composers.
Yeah, because lyricists and music composers were not really getting their share. I mean, people in the West have retired 30 years ago, 40 years ago.
Yeah, they're living off the royalties.
They're living off royalties. We've had people who've had 500 hit songs that they've written or 500 songs that they've composed and have died in like abject poverty. It's a shame. And considering our music is one of the biggest reminders of what our past is.
Yeah, we remember songs. We may forget.
No, you remember film because of a song.
Yeah.
You remember the actor's performance because of the song.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll forget. Who sits and watches movies here? You hear the song and that reminds you of what that film was or what he looked like or she looked like. So for them to not get their share of their creation was something that was terribly wrong in the system. And I'm so happy and so proud that he fought as hard as he did. And now, I mean, like, everyone gets their share and everyone gets their royalty, and it was about time.
But one of the things that surprised me, when we were having this conversation about the passage of the bill in Parliament, was that once it was passed, the entire movie industry sort of banished him. Because you are responsible for some loss that the producer thinking in his head, hey man, you know what, I'm going to make less out of it in the future income of a particular song. So they kind of banished him. That was kind of crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely had his share of like run-ins with people, but it was very myopic of them.
Yeah.
I don't think they understood what it is that he's done. Which is, if you can retain the publishing of your own album, and now you don't, if you think about it now, CDs are gone, cassettes are gone, everything is digital.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So earlier, I mean, you definitely needed a music label to go out there and publish and distribute your music for you. There was no way of you doing it yourself.
Right.
So you can understand why they were really a massive part of that chain. But today, as things have changed, it makes sense for an artist to hold on to their publishing, to hold on to their copyright. Because in the long run, as a producer, the producer has the publishing rights. In the long run, because music is not just in that moment. Of course, if it's good. If it's bad, then it's not even in the
doesn't
moment.
matter, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about good music. A good song will pay you back for the rest of your life. And what producers were doing and still are doing on some level is, it's a very myopic view that I just want to get what I'm getting right now so that I can put it into the making of my film and and kind of cut bring my budget down or buy my pre-sales and that kind of stuff is what they do. It's the old school way of looking at it, which is really not kind of needed anymore. And I think producers thought that their MGs will go down because if the music album or the music label is not going to make, and they are going to have to share what they're getting, then they'll probably give us less. So that's kind of where the friction area kind of was. But I think with time, they already have, and I'm sure as they go forward, they will realize more and more that it was quite silly of them to have had that point of view in that moment.
As a creative person, how much of a number head are you? Like, are you good with data? Because you also run a business. Is that a completely different? Not at all.
No, not at all.
You have no clue.
No, I know what people tell me, but that my retention of the information is probably just till that evening. I'm not into.
Would Ritesh be that other side, that kind of who's better equipped for running the business side?
Not only business side, he has a much more evolved numbers brain and a data brain than I do. I think that's why we complement each other the way that we do. But I mean, now there's data and statistics for everything here. But I mean, at the end of the day, if something is going to break out, something is going to break out. there's nothing you can do. No data can stop it.
Right.
If it's going to do well. So my approach to what we do is just like it has to feel good. That's where I'm coming from. And if it's not feeling good, then no matter what that data is saying to you.
And would you say, because you're looking at the larger picture as a producer, would you say yes to something because it doesn't feel good to you, but you can see where that voice is coming from? It may not be something that you would have made as a director or something you would have written personally as a writer. It's not you, but you can see it's who.
But see, in that moment, if I'm reading a script or somebody is narrating a script, the whole point of that exercise is to experience it as its first audience. So I'm not thinking that I'm a producer. I'm not even thinking that. Forget writer and director. I'm not even thinking I'm the producer. I'm thinking I'm an audience. Am I enjoying this here? And if I'm enjoying it, then that's really the best place to start. Again, I won't make it and I wouldn't have thought of this idea. But somebody's come up with it and it's feeling great and it's reading great. And then that's the only instinct that you have to go on.
What about you as an actor, Farhan? I remember you telling me once that, like the writer is someone who has to convince himself. The director is someone who has to convince others. The actor is just a conduit in the whole process. And when you became an actor,
the actor has to convince the audience.
The actor also has to convince the audience, of course. But when you became an actor, and I think Al Pacino said this famously, an actor acts. Like you can't take full responsibility for everything that happens in a film. Would that be the case with you, where you say, "Bhai, I'm just an actor here"? Because you've also been a director. There could be this urge to say, can we fix that, or can we fix this? Because that is not who you are on that set. You're simply an actor. Could you just distance yourself from the rest of the film in that sense?
On set? Yeah, 100%.
Just act and leave it to the others who are supposed to do. Leave it to the director. I guess it's their medium.
No, but see, the thing is that when I'm working with a director, like when I'm directing and working with an actor, I'm working very closely with them. So by the time you go on set, I want my actor, if I'm directing, I want the actor to be 100% on board
in sync with what's going on.
In sync with what's going on. I don't want an actor to just come there and be an actor and go.
Do their shot and leave.
I don't want that at all. I want them to be more involved. If they have a great idea, which has happened many times, on Dil Chahta Hai, on Laksh and on Dawn. When actors come and said, why don't we try this? So, I was wondering, maybe the scene. And if it's a great idea can come from anyone. So to be a know-it-all and be like, I have all the answers, is a terrible way to work on a film. So in that similar vein, when I'm working with Rezi on 120, like our work on it, firstly as producer and director, started way earlier, like working with the writers and doing that kind of stuff. So by the time we're on set, it feels like it's a collaborative effort. So I'm not feeling like I need to be doing
I guess what Al Pacino famously meant on that famous saying was, an actor acts is like, for instance, you can't put in everything into every film you do, right? Let's say, for instance, I'll give an example, Farhan. Let's say when you're doing a Lucknow Central, you're not going to put in as much effort as you did in Bhag Milkha Bhag. Because it's just the physicality of it and the madness of it.
The demand is different. Like in ZNMD, I had to put no effort.
Really?
You went on the set, I had to make sure that I knew my lines.
And the lines were yours anyway.
I was writing the dialogue, so it was very familiar. I was telling Abhay his lines if he forgot. Like that kind of thing. But there you could just go. There was hardly any prep. We did 2 readings.
Shit, seriously?
Yeah, we did 2 readings and we just went off and shot. So that film is the easiest film to do. So every film has its own kind of culture and like what it demands of you. But I think the discussion of when you're on set, you're just doing your job on set. You know, like the director will do what the director has to do. Like the DOP will do what the DOP has to do, and you just get on with it.
But what if, and this can happen to all actors, but they would not know the fix, is what if you're doing something, it's like it's not turning out to the film that you signed up for, and can you fix it? Because you can, because
you must. I'm telling you in all honesty, almost all actors, actors of experience especially, and most actors who kind of know what it is that film acting is about, will be able to tell. So it's not you have to be some kind of evolved person It doesn't have to be. You know when
No, the
things are-
experience of it.
No, not
like
only
if it's
that.
going south.
Like even I would imagine even in you, like you know if something is not right on set.
Okay.
You just know it inherently. And I don't think you're the only person who knows it. I think everybody knows it. You know, on set, if something is not going right, and it could be you. At the end of the day, your performance could be off.
Yeah.
You know, that could be happening. But it's
Have you felt that about any performance of yours personally?
that I felt that it's off.
That yeah, maybe it's not in
On a
sync
day?
on a day or on a film. Has it ever happened to you?
Not off, but I remember I had to get over some degree of nerves initially when I started doing Wazir because of working with Mr. Bachchan. Like it weighed heavily on me. You know, as much as you want to just go in and be like, we are co-actors and it's all great. But when I went in, I'm doing that first scene with him, I was conscious that I'm doing a scene.
Like, do things flash in your head? So we had Abhishek Banerjee, the actor, on one of the podcasts, and he's talking about Bachchan told him, "Listen, be careful about the next shot."
Yeah.
Because he knew what was going to happen, and this guy said, "Okay, whatever." Now I hung out with him and all, but when that shot, like, there's a whole life of Bachchan was flashing on his head. So, like, dude, he told me so.
Yeah.
Is that you get conscious in that sense?
Yeah, no, I mean, see, the thing is, firstly, I think that he is an incredible actor.
Yeah.
Then I'm thinking he's going to be watching me doing something right now.
What's he going to think?
What is he going to think? So all these thoughts come into your head, yeah. You know, so that first day that we did a scene together, which was one of the scenes when I go to visit him at his chess place. All the kids are hanging around. The first time when we meet after my daughter's death in the film, and he tells me she's to come here. I go to return his wallet, and he says that she is to come here. So I remember that scene when we first shot. I was very, very like anxious and very nervous when we did that scene. So when we shot it, I think Bijoy recognized.
The director Bijoy Nambiar.
Yeah, Bijoy Nambiar. I think he recognized because we read and all that stuff had happened. But you know, reading is still one thing. When you're going to go and like stand there and perform is something else. So he actually made it a little bit easier for me, where he did all of Mr. Bachchan stuff first. So I was off camera for most of it, giving him cues, and for giving cues also you have to perform. You're not like standing there and reading. So that helped me kind of really, really like ease out when he turned the camera around. I felt like I've done it now 15 times already, so I can do it. But that was a day where I felt a little bit like slightly out of body, you know, in terms of like looking at my performance from a third person's point of view. But otherwise, no.
Did you ever go on a Bachchan set while growing up?
I went to the set of Dostana.
Okay.
Once I then went to the set of Shan. Once that Shakal set, which was the best set.
Oh wow! Where was it?
I think Filmistan,
okay,
or some place like that. I remember going.
So water body shots would have been done somewhere
that was done somewhere else. But that rotating the chairs, they were quite cool. That set I went on to, and then after that, actually, that didn't take us so much. After that, the next set that I remember going on to was I went with him to the set of Meri Jung. Was the set. So I just these 2 or 3 times that I went on the set with him. That's it.
We keep talking about Javed Akhtar in reference to you, or for that matter, Hani Rani. Your dad yourself, you know, you've raised 2 kids. Tell us, what's it been like for you to be a father? Like, what was that? What your dad was like with you? 2 girls, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 2 girls. Yeah.
Shakya
and Akira.
Akira after Kurosawa?
Akira after Kurosawa,
of course. And
I mean, the name was always there. He made it famous. Yeah.
Did you take them? Do you take them to sets? Is movies their thing?
So they have sporadically come. Like Shakya came to the set of Luck. She had come. He came to Ladakh when I was there. She's come onto the set of the first Dawn. Akira came to Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara.
Akira's the younger one.
The younger one,
yeah.
So she came to Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, and then I don't know which other ones she came to, but those I remember.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, they're happy girls growing independently. We are not telling them what they should do.
We have no idea.
Yeah, no, they'll find their own feet. They're very confident, independent, beautiful girls, and just very lucky.
Again, lot of spotlight, right? Because it's not just you, Farhan. You're like the 8th generation poet from your family, from your dad's side.
Yeah.
You know, like that's. Is it easy to raise children with that much spotlight?
But you don't think about
it?
No, not at all. I mean, if anything, my intention has always been to keep them away from it.
Yeah, okay.
As opposed to expose them too much to it. Not for any reason that I think it's the big bad world and all. I don't have those problems. I feel like attention is something that you need to earn. and you should not just take it for granted that because of who you are. You know, so I mean, if at all in life, I wish them success. I want them to be more successful than I can imagine them being. I want them, if any one of them chooses to be in film or in the arts and wants to be famous in terms of publicly famous, I wish that for them. But it would be nice that they earn that, you know, and for that, I think it was nice for them to not get used to being someone's daughter, you know, like related to so and so person. So I'm in photos all the
or
time.
Instagram followers,
that kind of stuff. So I keep them away from that because I feel you need to work towards that.
And you've been married for what, 3 years, 4 years now? 3 years now.
Yeah.
Shibani Dandekar.
Yes.
Tell us about that. Like, how did you guys meet?
We met. Our first meeting was on a show that I was hosting, and she was a contestant in.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In 2015.
What show was this?
It was a show called I Can Do That.
Okay.
Which was on Z, I think.
Okay.
On Z, I think.
So a reality show?
It was like one of those challenge shows. You know, like one of those kind of a Fear Factor meets Nach Baliye meets this.
Okay.
You're giving challenges.
Right. Like a Survivor type.
But they're skills. It's skill based. So you're given, like, you will learn how to tightrope walk within the week and do a performance as a tightrope walker, for example. You know what I mean? So they had to learn skill week on week, and then audience would vote and judges would say what they had to say, and they would be either there to compete the next week or be gone. So I was hosting that, and that's where we first met.
Okay. She was a contestant.
She was a contestant.
Right.
So that's where we first met, and I can't say that we hit it off and all. I mean, we were like very courteous and polite with each other at that time. I was still married at that time, but that's where we first met. And then many years later, it's weird how life works, you know, because till I Can Do That, I'd never met her. I mean, I'd seen on TV. She used to host IPL,
right?
You know, on the field. She was on IPL and stuff like that, but I never met her. But it's strange how when you meet.
But you remembered her from the show.
Oh yeah, when I met her,
course,
there for you know. But when I met her, suddenly after that we would meet randomly, you know what I mean, like go to Indigo for breakfast, and even she's there. You know, that kind of random those paths crossing suddenly started happening a lot, and then just as one thing led to another, and I asked her if she'd like to have some coffee someday, and then we became friends, and then from friends decided to take it to a whole other level, and here we are.
How amazing! How amazing! They're always fun. Like, you know, like your story of Shibani. I didn't know it at all, and how things happen. These are all anecdotes, right? I'm gonna throw some names at you, and if you can tell me, and I can guide you through it if you really like are struggling with memory, of your favorite anecdote about that person. I'm gonna start with Shah Rukh Khan. What is your favorite anecdote about Shah Rukh Khan? I mean, he became friends with you after Dil Chahta Hai, right? I mean, you were spending a lot of time with him. Is that?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time.
How come he just reached out to you? Like, he really loved the film. He asked you why was I not in the movie?
Yeah, of course.
Did he ask you why was he not in the movie?
No, he didn't ask me why he was not in the film because I had tried to reach out to him.
Oh, yeah?
And I couldn't get in touch with him. So he did ask me that question. But I remember he came and he watched the film at famous Mahalakshmi.
Okay.
Where we had a screening.
Which is now not going to remain.
I believe so. It's no longer going to be there. But that's where he saw it, and that was the first time professionally that we met. I had met him a couple of times before that, but he had met me as Hani Rani's son.
Right.
When Dar was happening.
Yeah, because Hani Rani's the writer of Dar.
On Dar. So I met him on Dar and a few other things like that. We had met, but I don't think I'd registered.
You didn't work on Dar, right?
No.
You didn't, okay.
I just visited set.
Yeah.
That's when we met. And then when I was kind of in the thick of prep for Laksh, I used to be in Delhi a lot because the film is based in Delhi and we'd keep going to Dehradun and coming back. So I spent a lot of time in Delhi in those years, in that like 1 year leading up to the shoot of Laksh. And he also was in Delhi a lot at that time. Gauri's family is from there. All his friends, a lot of his friends are there. So he was spending a lot of time also in Delhi. So we would meet up in Delhi a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And that's when we really started.
Like he happened to know that you're in town or...
Yeah, this one restaurant that we shot at, if you remember, where Preeti breaks up her engagement with her fiancé, that restaurant belonged to a childhood friend of his. So when we were there, so he was like, listen, hang out here. Shah Rukh's going to be coming in the evening because it becomes a bar at night. Okay. Right? So let's all hang out. So then we met there.
Right.
So that's really how we started hanging out. And then he was on bandstand. So then we'd just be hanging out. So it was a really nice time. And so when Laksh got done, and then we would keep talking about it that we should do something together, and even I really wanted to work with him.
I'm sure everyone wanted to work with you, Farhan, after Dil Chahta Hai,
No,
right?
not about. It's not about that. You know, I mean, it's. I mean, it's. You don't get taken in by that, yeah.
Sure.
You know, but like, I also really wanted to work with him. You know, because I mean, there's something very magnetic about him and charming, extremely charming about him, and has always been. So that's when I was like, man, let's do Dawn. Yeah. You know, like, I mean, like, let's do that. And then that's kind of how it happened. But a very funny thing that happened on the set of the first Dawn, which I realized that Shah Rukh is incredible at many, many things. But this one thing on that set that I realized he was not great at, which is one day when we're shooting in Paris, the opening of the film is in Paris. And because like we had just finished shooting all the stuff in Malaysia, all this, the Paris was the last bit. So I think I'd also reached like a level, you know, that director's fatigue, and you've come to that last week of shoot, last week of shoot, please, yaar, khatam karo. And you had many sleepless nights and waking up early, you know. So by the time we reached Paris, it was getting cold in Paris as well. So I got a severe like neck ache. Like this entire part got just like, it was like frozen. You know, so I could only turn my head like this much kind of thing had happened. So Shah Rukh, "Arey, teko kya ho gaya?" So I said, no, my neck is completely gone. Then wait, I'll fix it. So he made me sit down while we were on set, and he said, I'm going to do a massage on your neck, and just tell me, I'm going to go really deep with the massage and it'll ease it out and all. So I said, "ठीक है." So he doing it, I'm like, it's really hurting. And he does all this thing, you know. And then finally I was like, man, he's like, but it's really that. So he's like, "Acha, now just take these, ye goli kha le aur tu so ja aaj raat, tomorrow morning you'll wake up, it'll all be gone." So I said, "ठीक है." So I took the medicine, finished that little shoot of the day, went back. The next day I could not even move my neck in the other direction. I was just like this. I'm like, thanks, huh? That was superb. So anyway, so he's good at many, many things. Magar uski massage ne.
Not deep tissue massages.
But not a deep tissue massage. Yeah, but yeah.
But of course, you're you know, you've been famously immortalized with Shah Rukh from that scene, right? The scene from Luck by Chance, where
course,
it's you and he meets you as himself.
Yeah.
Was that a scene that you'd written? What was written the way it was, or was there a lot of Shah Rukh Khan in him? You get a sense of Shah Rukh Khan saying what he wants to say to the world in that scene.
No, but see, every cameo that was in that film was written with that person in mind.
In mind, right?
Was written with that person in mind. So, I mean, like, even if you see Amir is at the beginning, like, although he comes and does that scene, but the minute it's cut and if you see what he's doing, when he goes and starts talking to Raju Hirani and says, "Yaar, main ye bhi kar sakta hu," you know what I mean? So everything was written keeping their personalities in mind.
Right.
You know, and with Shah Rukh, it was a very inherently his kind of scene from conversations that we have had.
Right.
You know, not just with Zoya, I mean, more than me, you know, I mean, as the writer, because I mean, we were working together on Dawn. He also experienced partially what she was going through and putting Luck by Chance together. We were working so closely. He was seeing Zoya's trying to put a film together.
The struggle. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he had seen all of that, and like from those conversations that, you know, he would, when we were talking about the industry and talking about like what it's like, and you know, like all those inputs that needed to come into the film. So that scene was kind of also written keeping his experience. This guy's from Delhi, that guy's from, all that came like, so it was all written like that. But I mean, yeah, it's a really beautiful scene. Was
the role kind of inspired by Shah Rukh at all? I mean, there are elements of it, right? Just the fact of it.
Oh, you mean Vikram? In the film? No.
A guy from,
no, not at all.
Favorite Amir Khan anecdote?
Favorite Amir Khan anecdote?
Your favorite would obviously be the fact that he said yes to you for Dil Chahta Hai, right?
That in itself only is amazing. But yeah, Amir is a very, 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 very interesting guy to work with. I remember the one thing actually, which he made me think about when we were shooting that scene where in Australia, where he gets onto the train and he goes out, but Preeti is left alone. And then that hobo starts walking towards her.
Correct.
Right, and he runs back.
Right.
So I remember that scene. So I had cued that I wanted to stay only with Preeti and that other guy and really build up that tension of what is going to happen next. And cue the sound of a train arriving, which is what he comes back on. Cue the sound of a train, of the train arriving just by sound. कि वो चल रहे हो, you're hearing मतलब the tube pulling in. and then Amir comes running down. So I shot all of that stuff. So he's like, मगर तू वो शॉट नहीं करेगा कि ट्रेन आके रुक रही है? तो I said, नहीं, I'm putting sound ना कि वो ट्रेन आएगी. No. Don't think that the sound is going to take care of it. I want to understand very, very clearly. He's like, it's in your mind. तूने script 1000 बार पढ़ी है, right? You've heard this 1000 times, and you know that a train is coming to stop. Somebody is watching this for the first time.
They'll wonder how did the guy show up.
They are not paying attention to के sound आया था और train आके रुका and all. Please show me the train stopping. Don't assume that people will put 2 and 2 together, right? So these things, as screenplay language, communication language through film. I mean, I learned a lot from him. I mean, even with the script itself, when he heard the script, so he said okay, and then he met Ritesh and me, and he said, "Yaar, you know, I've heard this script called Lagan that I want to do first. So if you all don't mind, can I do this film first, and then we'll get into Dil Chahta Hai." Ritesh and me were in absolutely no position to say, and not that we wanted to. We obviously wanted him in the film. So we said, yeah, of course we'll wait. So he went off to shoot Lagan. Now I've got almost 9-10 months to kill. But my prep and all was more or less done, right? Like leading up to shoot. But we pushed it. So I'm only sitting and tinkering with the script. कि ये better हो सकता है, वो better हो सकता है, ये better हो सकता है. So after he finished shooting, he came and he said, "Acha, I'm coming back from Bhuj. I'm going to come to your house and I want to hear the script again now with a fresh mind. I've not heard it for months." So I said, okay. So I narrated the new draft to him. So सुन रहा है. He's like, what script is this? So I said, this is the script. He's like, no, this is not the script. When you came to my house, you had brought one green file. Where is that green file? I said, the green file is in my drawer. Get the green file. So I got the green file. So he's like, narrate this script to me. So I narrated that. He's like, this is the script. He's like, you see, a problem is that writers and directors, when they have a lot of time on their hands, they start feeling I can improve this.
And they're overthinking it. Right.
I can improve it. He's like, you have written something, it is good. Leave it. Don't let your mind get ahead of you. Ke better ho sakta hai. When people have had an emotional reaction to your script, don't mess around with it. So these lessons,
but Farhan,
I kind of learned with him.
If I'm not mistaken, you actually wrote a sort of a book which would now be a WhatsApp forward in 2025, sort of like a bunch of anecdotes from your time spent in Goa.
No, I was writing that but never got written.
You never wrote it?
No,
some Goa diaries you were doing, right? For your friends.
I incorporated a lot of that into the film.
So you actually wrote that thing? Did you actually write the 50-pager?
No, I didn't. I was writing it. I never completed it. I have no idea where it is. It was on one PC of 1997 or 1998.
Right.
Yeah,
there were no clouds then. You couldn't have saved it.
So the floppy disk was there that time, which I have no idea where it is now.
So which of these DCH stories, which one is the one that really happened to you? And that was there in the Goa diaries?
That really happened to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it did happen to me that I went with my friends and then I told them, you all head back, I'll come.
Okay.
That did happen. But yeah, that did happen. I also, at one point, suffered some serious heartbreak in Goa. And I remember I had to drive back all alone from there. We had driven there together, but I had to drive back alone. So I know what that very painful journey of driving back from Goa alone is like, which I made into a funny thing when Saif has to come back alone. But yeah, so little bits and pieces like that were in the film, yeah.
Your favorite Honey Irani anecdote?
My favorite Honey Irani anecdote. So there's one. So she speaks her mind. She cannot keep a straight face if something funny happens around her. It is next to impossible. Like she could actually roll on the floor laughing. Something happens, like someone trips by mistake. the classic slapstick.
The inappropriate laugh.
The inappropriate laugh. So there was this one time that happened that years ago, we were kids, and there used to be some guy who used to come to deliver meat to the house. That mutton wala type guy used to come to the house, and mom started getting very irritated that now what he's sending is not up to the mark. So she told the cook, please use bulao, I want to talk to him. So he said, acha, okay. In the afternoon, my mom comes down and there is a gentleman over there sitting on the sofa waiting for her. Dadi like this and all. And she's like, आप यहाँ क्यों बैठे हैं? मैंने उनको बोला था आपको बुलाने को, जब मैं तो ये से नहीं हनी बीबी, वो चीजें क्या हनी बीबी, एक तो आप मटन इतना बुरा देते हैं, कब से मैं बोल रही हूँ, मैं लास्ट वार्निंग में दे रही हूँ आपको, लास्ट चांस दे रही हूँ, शी इज फायरिंग हिम लाइक ही इज द मटन गाय हु इज गिविंग बैड मटन, राइट? एंड ही सेड अरे मगर हनी बीबी सुनिए तो सही। एंड देन माय डैड केम आउट फ्रॉम द स्टडी बिकॉज़ माय मम वाज येलिंग एंड ही वाज लाइक क्यों चिल्ला रही हो? नहीं दिस मटन नहीं, इज गिविंग सो बैड। ही सेड अरे ये तो हमारे मामू है जो some mamu had come from some place and she had started firing him. So she had many such episodes where she could not hold back and this thing. But yeah, I mean, just amazing memories of growing up.
We could do this for hours. Okay, one last one.
Yeah.
Favorite Javed Akhtar anecdote?
Yeah, where do you start with his anecdotes and end with his anecdotes? One of my most favorite ones that I witnessed was we were in Lucknow. We had gone for a mushaira that he was doing. And it's very typical that when a mushaira happens, that after the poetry is done, there's a Q&A session. Because being a poet, you're socially conscious. You know what I mean? You can be asked questions about anything, political, social, artistic.
Like a press conference.
Like a press conference. Yeah. So people asking him different questions of different kinds. And this one lady put her hand up. So, Motarma. So, you know, Motarma stands up. She says, जावेद अख्तर साहब, आप कहते हैं कि हमेशा कहते हैं कि लखनऊ की तहजीब ये है, लखनऊ की तहजीब वो है, और बात सही है, मतलब लखनऊ में है तहजीब, लेकिन आप ग्वालियर के बारे में कभी कुछ नहीं कहते, जबकि आपकी पैदाइश ग्वालियर की है। तो आपने कभी ग्वालियर के बारे में कुछ नहीं कहा। तो माय डैड सेड जी सही कह रही हैं आप, मतलब ग्वालियर है बहुत खूबसूरत जगह, अच्छे लोग हैं वहाँ, मगर जहाँ तक मेरी पैदाइश का सवाल है वो यही है कि मेरी जो फैमिली थी वो लखनऊ में थी। मेरी माँ की जब शादी हुई तो लखनऊ में ही रहती थी। तो ये हुआ कि जब वो पेट से थी और मैं पैदा होने वाला था तो वो अपने मैके चली गई थी, वापस हाँ ग्वालियर चली गई थी। मैं पैदा हुआ और कुछ 1-2 हफ्ते बाद हम वापस लखनऊ आ गए। तो मैं पला बड़ा लखनऊ में ही हूँ, मगर जो आप कह रही हैं उसका मतलब ये है कि कभी कभी बिल्ली जाके तंदूर में पिल्ले दे देती है, मगर आप उन पिल्लों को बिस्किट नहीं बुलाते, इसलिए मैं बिस्किट के बारे में आई एम नॉट अ बिस्किट।
Okay, to end this conversation, Farhan, 25 years of public life, 25 years of being an artist, a producer, etc., multi-hyphenate, as it were. If you were to pick from like a KBC question, fame, power, or money, which one would you go for? And of course, with everything being equal, I mean, if you were completely down in the dumps, you would obviously pick money because you need that for sustenance.
Sure.
But everything being equal, fame with talent being equal, of course, fame, power, and money. What do these three things anyway mean to you?
Yeah, money. I mean, I definitely feel is like is a way or something that allows you, especially in today's time, to live your life with a certain amount of dignity that it does allow you. You know, so I feel, I mean, I could do without fame.
Yeah,
I could do without fame. That's not a thing for me. I could do without fame. By power, I don't know what exactly you mean, like what kind of power you're talking about, because I mean, all of us have some influence and some sway on some people, as we are influenced and swayed by others. But I feel any kind of power that's unchecked is toxic. So to me, that I'm honestly, I mean, it sounds unfortunately materialistic, but I mean, I think out of the three, to me, probably money is the most important.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned power, because that's one of the things that happened to do with the film industry and sort of rocked it. Perhaps, I don't know to what extent did it rock the movie industry into self introspection. Was the Me Too movement, which was essentially a piece on power, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's about using
your position,
your position for things.
Yeah.
What did you think of it, Farhan? What did you think of that? Did that really make the change that you hoped it would, or we were just looking at movie industry? It would be true for any industry.
I definitely feel that there has been some change post that, and I do feel that if there were any people who thought that it's okay and you can get by behaving a certain way, I think I won't say that somebody won't do it, because I mean people can have extreme personalities, but I think most people will think at least 4 or 5 times before misbehaving or doing something now.
Because the consequences.
Yeah, the consequences are huge. I mean, you definitely it'll impact your career for sure. But I feel, I mean, apart from Me Too, I just feel that I've always felt that the more powerful you are, the more well-to-do you are in terms of success. I mean, the more humble you should be, and the lesser exploitative you should be of others. I'm a strong believer of, like, be good to people on your way up because you're going to meet those same people while you're heading back down. I'm a strong believer in that, that what goes around comes around. So, I mean, that's really where I'm at. I mean, of course, things can always be better. But are they better than what they were 10 years ago? I definitely feel that there's a lot more professionalism, there's a lot more respect for what people do. The lines are very, very blurred in that hierarchical sense of who could be talking to who on set. All that stuff has changed a lot. I mean, from the time that I started, I can't even imagine what it was like before me. So all in all, I feel it's a healthier environment for sure. We can definitely be making some more progressive films when it comes to the exploitation of the female form. That definitely can happen. But yeah, that's where we're at.
But at a level of your company, did you ever have to face something like this? Were there cases that you came across while you run something like what could be actually a sexual harassment case?
No.
Have you had to deal with something like this before?
Yeah, of course. I mean, see, eventually it has happened. Obviously, I can't take names because the person didn't want to talk about it publicly. Our immediate reaction was to fire the person who was responsible for behaving badly and to not work with them ever again since. We haven't. But the choice to what kind of consequence the person should ultimately get outside being fired from the film is not for me to decide. It's for the complainant.
Right.
To decide whether they want to, because I mean they also do understand that there's a certain public aspect that they have to put themselves into, and if they are not willing to do that or they don't want to do that for whatever reason, there's no right and wrong in this, but if they don't want to, one can tell them that it's something that you must, or that if you choose to. But it was her call to just make sure that he wasn't on the project anymore, which we absolutely did, and she didn't want to take it any further than that. So that did happen once with us, yes.
For whatever you do, Farhan Akhtar, thank you very much for being on Sit with Hitlist, and more power to you.
Oh, thank you.
Yay! This was fun.
Your window to India and the world. Midday. Local pulse, global perspective.